Yeah, I'm Richard W. Thompson. I'm the owner.
All right, sir.
I was just here, wasn't I?
Yes, I know
Seems
that
like I was
voice.
just here.
It feels like it, huh?
Doesn't it feel like I was just here last night? uh, you gave me a.
No, give me 1 second.
Go
Allow
ahead.
the city to present our
Okey
case,
doke.
and then I'll give you an opportunity
All
to
right.
respond.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami, Code Compliance Officer. This is a case for reports of previous compliance. Just giving a brief, synopsis. It was originally opened on February 27th. I'm sorry, I'm looking because it's out of order. February 27, 2019. He's already stated he's been back here. He's been here a couple of times as of last week. On the 29th of May, the outdoor storage, the wood that's in the rear of the property that it was originally cited for still remained at the property. I spoke with Mr. Thompson on the telephone. Very uncomfortable conversation. Every time he calls, always huffing, puffing, cussing, carrying on. But as of the 29th, the items still remain in the rear of the property. I'll let the property owner explain what's going on and why it's still there.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am. The wood she's talking about, the materials, they've been removed. And it was her supervisor came out and talked to me, a nice man, realized there was an emergency situation going on while she was, infatuated with me. She's a little bit overboard on Mr. Thompson, this and that. I'm wondering if she's, has nightmares or something. I've done nothing to her. I don't even know her. I think she's only worked for you 6 months. But the only reason I talked to her on the phone, I'm no huffing and puffing or nothing. My whole program right now till I die is to get the you-know-what out of here, period. My friends are gone. There's been no food, no beverage at Hollover Beach, and no lifeguard for 27 years. Not days, not months, years. Donald Trump himself, hate him, like him, love him, I don't know. Trumpy bear, I don't care, okay? But he would say the same darn thing, okay? She posts things out on my post so that the neighbor at 2020, where you can't see his house, 2030, same thing. Overgrown, those are her pals. So I think what it is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I have pictures here I showed her earlier. She don't want to see them. I've removed all the wood. I removed it a few days ago, way before the 30 days. I was just in here on the 29th. So you gave me a certain amount of days. Within 1 day after we left this courtroom, my dear magistrate, she's posting stuff on my fence. 1 day after we leave here, you give me a reasonable amount of time to correct the situation. And so I go at it. I also have to make money to eat, to feed myself and pay these bills. And I am. And she's posting stuff on my yard there. So this neighbor that's her friend a couple houses down that nobody likes in the world, I haven't seen him with a friend yet, so he can see that she's posting me. Well, I'm going to ruin your nightmares. I'm leaving now. I called my real estate agent today. He's not happy about it. I'm going to tell him to fly a kite from here all the way to Timbuktu, okay? I'm calling a man that's going to give me market value for the house tomorrow. I'm going to close with him immediately, and I'm leaving forever a happy man, a normal man. I never had a felony in my life.
Okay,
I
this is
saved
not-
a lot of lives.
Sir,
no, I want to tell you,
sir.
they seem to think that they're afraid of me. They're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of God. They're afraid of what's right and what's wrong. That's
Okay.
what it is. But I corrected the problem, ma'am.
Okay.
And you can see the pictures. And I'm not a bad guy. I'm a great guy. I save people on the ocean. I saved them on Lake Michigan. I own a big marina there. If I'm not there, it's in the ground, and that's where it is right now.
Okay.
And people that committed homicide and were convicted of it are sitting there grabbing money and putting it in their pocket, no receipt, no nothing. And this guy murdered my dad. 1987, 32 years ago, he's struggling and fighting for his life. Okay?
I remember
And-
that story.
Well, it's not a
So-
story, ma'am. It's a fact.
Okay.
When you look in, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to email it to you. Okay? You're going to get that he murdered his own brother in 1976 and was convicted of it.
I understand, sir.
So,
For the-
so to keep thinking that somebody's
Did we
dreaming
talk
this is
about
wrong.
the case that we're here
I
today?
am. Here's the picture.
No, sir.
Here's the
Let me
pictures
ask
I
you,
complied with.
when did you go back for reinspection and what did you find?
When I went back on the 29th of May, which is our recheck date for today's magistrate, the items were still at the property. Myself, Code Officer Aaron Barber, and Marine Patrol Officer Gene Sosa went out on the waterways, and it was still there on May 29th,
On May 29th?
last Wednesday. I have photos if you would like to see.
Yes, please. And sir, I'm sorry, it went blank. You can show it to the officer.
Well, I showed her the pictures.
Okay.
On the
I don't see a
29th?
date stamped on your photos.
Probably, yeah. I hadn't got to them yet. I was out working trying to make money. That's all. Yeah, it's complied with now. It's all gone. I got rid of all of it. I discarded some and some I saved it, the better stuff, and it's off the waterway. You can't see it. It's out of public view completely, which is what I was asked to do.
All
So I
right.
did, but she jumps the gun on a lot of things. She likes to jump the gun and hurry up, and, you know, I think even for her own sake, to never hear the word Mr. Thompson or see him again would be a great thing for you.
All right. Okay, so the abatement date was the 29th, and the photographs that were shown to me was taken on the 29th, and based on your
What
own
day
testimony,
was I in court?
you were here on the 2nd, correct? Or was it May 1st?
I'm showing here May 2nd.
May 2nd?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You were here, you were here for another case, but that was for the boat. That's why,
Yeah,
just to
it
get on
wasn't for this. I was here for the boat on the 15th.
But he was here for this case on the 2nd.
Okay.
I don't.
He has multiple cases going on, so he's been presented
I don't
before
have
different
two cases
magistrates.
going on, ma'am. There's not multiple cases or any kind of craziness, okay? I've never been a criminal, I've never been a felon, I've never been in prison, I never will be, okay? All this nonsense is to help cover up somebody who's a member of the same church that they belong to, and that's obvious. It ain't the kind of church you're thinking about either, is it? So,
All right.
you know, I complied with it, man. The wood pile is gone, you know, and I'm trying to move. I'm trying, within days, I'm hoping
Okay.
that I can get somebody, I've got two guys that want market value for it and never come back. Thank God I haven't buried any relatives or anybody I loved at one time here. But like I say, the town is a disaster. There's nothing left.
I
I
understand.
don't know how you can, they took the gas out of Hollover. There's no more safety. The towboats left. They went to West Palm Beach.
I understand, sir. I'm
So
ready
there's
to
no way you
roll.
can fish.
Okay.
You can't do anything.
All right.
It's
Have you had
sorrowful.
an opportunity to go back?
Did you go back?
No, we don't go back. Our last reinspection date since you said that it should have been you said that it should have been abated by the 29th. That's when we do our last reinspection. We don't go back every day.
Ma'am, that's not even
multiple
30
times.
days. You're on to 30 days right now. I was in court here, you're saying on the 2nd. You give everybody 30, 60 days. Why would you give me 25? Why would she post something on my fence a day after I get out of your courtroom? You know, it was like harassment.
I give everyone
telling
an
you.
abatement date.
Well, I don't see how
abatement
you,
date-
if I was here on the 29th, ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, but how could you give me abatement day on the 29th? That's only 20-some days. That's not even 30 days.
You
You're
were-
closer to 30 days today on the 5th. Yeah,
You were given an abatement date,
I don't think so.
the 29th, and when the officer showed up on the 29th,
I don't think you gave me
you were still
abatement
in
that quick.
violation. So I will ratify the fine amount retroactive to the 29th, and that only going to cover till today because his photographs are indicating that that it was cleaned. So I don't know, you were saying that you don't go back and do an inspection.
No, our last reinspection date is the day, it's the 29th, the week before the meeting. A week before the meeting.
Okay. So what is the city asking?
I'm asking for the fine to be ratified. I haven't went out. I went out on my last reinspection date, which is the 29th, the day that you gave him to comply by, and on the 29th, the wood was still there.
I understand I did ratify the daily fine amount, but there's got to be a time frame for you to go back to.
And it was the
to inspect.
29th. It was the 29th, and that's when I went back. And as of that date, it was still there. You gave him until the 29th to remove it, and on the 29th, it was still there.
Okay. And I ratified the fine retroactive to May 29th. He's showing evidence that he is now in compliance. Let me speak to the city attorney.
City would request that you table it and allow the officer to perform a site visit to verify whether or not the violation is in fact complied.
Okay. All right, so
Thank
we'll
you.
table it.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am.
Okay.
Just, it's a sorrowful way to end life, and the way it is. And my friends and family up in Michigan, they put together a coalition for the Great Lakes states, all of them, including Detroit, Michigan, where one of our favorite basketball players, Mr. Dave Bing, is presiding as the mayor of Detroit. And we have a lot of crazy issues to solve, and we're going to do them.
All right, sir. Good luck
Absolutely.
to
So
you.
when I leave here, you wonder where I'm going. I'm going home like a brave man would go with God.
All right.
Okay?
Good luck to you.
We're gonna fix this.
All right, sir.
Okay? My dad, he wants closure.
All right.
The next item is item 28, Marie Rainval. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEWWC 2019-00028, item 28.
Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Mary Renville, I'm the owner.
And I'm a son.
All right.
Yeah. How you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
That's good.
All right.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 985 Northeast 138th Street was cited for a blue tarp on the roof. As of the reinspection date of May 29th, the tarp remains.
Oh,
And
it's for the tarp?
Yes, the tarp.
No, you gave you gave us for the car
That
part.
was another violation. I spoke to, not sure if he's your
That's
dad.
yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
So you took that one out.
That one's close.
Okay, so you're talking about the tarp on the roof.
Yes.
Okay. But I didn't even know we got a paper for that. I thought we got it for the car. But for the tarp, we have flooding on the roof, and we have our insurance company. We're trying to get money for it, and they offered us like $8,000 for a whole roof. It's not enough, so they had to decline it or something. And then we sent another one, and we're waiting on a reply back so we could, because anytime it rains, the house floods. So that's why the tarp is there. I didn't even know it was for the tarp, but yeah. So I'm good with the car thing though.
No, the car's
Alright,
good.
cool.
It's close.
But yeah, it's for the tarp. It's for the tarp. Yeah.
90 days?
Do you think we could table it
90 days.
for?
All right, sir. 90 days.
So we
Good
good?
luck to you.
Hey, thank
You're
you so
good.
much.
You're welcome.
The next item is item 11, Antoinette Etienne. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEIVY 2019-00067, item number 11.
Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
I am Antoinette Etienne. I'm her granddaughter. Residing in, they know where you live.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis, property 700 Northeast 138th Street, was cited for an inoperable vehicle. The property has a sedan, an SUV that is parked on the property with a brown tarp, and it has extensive front end damage. When I observed the vehicle, the wind had blew the tarp off. Mrs. Marie was outside with some workers called it over, and I said, "Hey, Miss Marie, what's going on with the car?" Oh, sorry, Miss Antoinette Etienne, sorry. And she said that the car belongs to her granddaughter. Give her a second, she'll call her out. She called the granddaughter out. The granddaughter wasn't too happy that I was questioning her about the car. She said the car is on their property. What business is it of the city? But per the city ordinance, any vehicle that's on private or public property cannot remain if it's wrecked. And the vehicle is wrecked. I asked her how long will it be before they removed it. She said 2 months. The car's still there.
I have to clarify some of the stuff she stated. It is inaccurate.
State your full name for the record.
My name is Giselle Valmont, and I never said 2 months. I said I'm not sure, and I asked you. I was not irate. The reason why I asked you questions was because my grandmother had a prior court date here for the paint of her house, and we came from Boston to get it done. Now, in reference to the car, I believe that once your car is covered, that there are other cars around the area that's covered, so I didn't see the need for us coming here for a car that's covered. So she said, it cannot be on the property. So I said, show me on the document that why it needs to be moved. I said, show me documentation, show me proof. That's when she stated that we're harassing her. I said, no, I'm one to ask questions. And I believe that if you're coming and stating a statement, you need to show me proof as to why something needs to be removed. So that's when she proceeded to show me. I said, but there are other tarps on cars around the neighborhood. And what is the time frame? Now, in reference to the car, I got the car from an auction. Now, I had contacted Tallahassee in order to get the title change, because who the dealer I bought it from, he started being shady, and it was a back and forth rift. So he actually bought the car on another dealer's license, and I just got the title in April. So I got some quotes in reference to getting the car fixed, and the person who's going to do it told me that he'll be out of the country to conduct some business, and he should be back in July. So that was the end of that. I also inquired in terms of, not to her, but to someone else, because they were doing wrongs for the city council and stuff. We've had broken sidewalks for over 2 years after the hurricane. That is a hazard. I believe that as you guys are doing wrongs, you guys need to look at the city sidewalks and fix these things. It's a hazard. My grandmother is older. She can easily fall on there. Nobody's taking care of the city sidewalks and maintenance, but yet still, where she was getting harassed for her property. And I find that if you're going to do on private property, the city should be able to take care of their public situations as well. So it's been 2 years I've been inquired about a broken sidewalk after the hurricane. It has yet to be fixed. So who do I talk about that besides this case?
You're asking me a question?
I surely am.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Where are we now with the situation with the car?
The car remains on the property, and until tonight, I had no idea that was the status of the car. I left notices, I left business cards, but she
You did
wasn't so
not.
forthcoming to speak to me. The
No.
last time I did try to talk to her, it wasn't an easy conversation.
She was not approachable. The reason I think she got upset is because I questioned her. I asked her, show me where it states that the vehicle can be on the property. I don't know if anybody ever questioned her before for asking about like certain stuff, but me personally, I questioned. You got to show me in black and white why, ABC. So she showed me the ordinance where if a vehicle has some extensive damage, it has to be either removed. So I said, is the problem the tap or the fact that the vehicle is damaged? And you saw it. And another thing that I did not like that she did, she came on the property and then she lifted the tap to make sure that the vehicle was
That
still
is
right.
not true.
It was raining. Listen, you came on the property. We were there. I saw you at the window. You parked by
Not
the
me.
cherry tree and you came on
I
to
did not-
verify. That's when the
I
next
did
day,
not.
because I told my grandmother she's coming here very soon because it's fully covered. You wouldn't even know it's damaged if you pass by. It's totally covered with a tap. So, and she came the next day and she handed me the paper and I took it to my grandmother and I told her that I'll come in with her.
I did not go on private property and touch the vehicle. Our city vehicles have cameras. If we can get the tape, it can show you that I did not go onto the property to take pictures. Any pictures that I take of the property is from the sidewalk, the swale, or the street.
All right, you want to show them the photographs and pass them forward, please?
Yeah, I know the photograph.
What am I looking at?
A brown top.
It's the car. It has a brown tarp on it.
It's a car cover. It's not a top. It's a car cover. It's covered with a car cover, fully covered.
Can you read the ordinance to me, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Section 10-9, prohibited storage. No person shall keep, store, or allow to remain on any residential property within the city any abandoned, derelict, or junk property, except as allowed in subsection B or C of this section. Abandoned, derelict, or junk property which would be visible at ground level from a street, public, or private property or waterway, but for the concealment of such junk property by the use of plastics, fabrics, or other materials to form a tent, curtain, partition, or similar makeshift structure or device, shall be subject to the same restriction that is applicable to junk property which is so visible, provided, however, that nothing in this section shall prohibit the use upon motor vehicles of commonly used car covers which are maintained in good repair.
Car covers. How is this different from what I'm looking at here?
My reading of, I haven't looked at the picture in depth. This doesn't appear to be a car cover. It appears to be a tarp. Most car covers are form-fitted to the vehicle so that it appears to be a vehicle, and it usually has a manufacturer brand name on it.
Fair enough. Let me see. Okay. Okay. You said you were waiting for the title, which you have
Just
received?
I just received it.
Okay. And you need, how long do you need to get this car removed, repaired?
Well, the mechanics will be back in July, the end of July. So he said once he returns, then he'll take it to the shop because he just sent me a quote of the repair. So I had to actually tow the car to the shop to get so he could do the estimates. And then we took it back because the front is the bumper, the front grill fell off from the accident. And it just, that's all. And it doesn't have a light. It's just the front damage.
All right. Okay. I'll do an adjudication. I'll give her till July. You said your
Well, he'll be
mechanical.
back. Quoted, he said by July 26th. So anytime after that.
All right. I'll do an adjudication. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city entering adjudication. Property owner has until July 31st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $150. All right, ma'am. Good luck to you.
The next item is item 21, ITSAC at 777 Northeast 125 Street. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is SDNOV 2019-00069, item 21.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Yitzhak Tzfadia, I own the building.
All right.
And I have no idea why I'm here.
Okay. Well, let's hear from the city code enforcement officer.
Ernst Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened back in February 28, 2019 for a dumpster that is in the rear of the property that is not enclosed. I posted the property on May 18, and I know I hand delivered the posting. I went
To who?
to the store. You are always in the back taking care of business, doing the alteration in that store. The person in the front are the one that receiving the notice. And I went inside and asked for you. The young lady get the notice from me and then went in the back with it. That's for the dumpster that is in the back that need to be enclosed like those people just before you, that is next to you. The dumpster need to be enclosed. Your
No.
dumpster need to be
You told
enclosed.
me my lid was open, and I need to do the width. So don't tell me, you never said anything about the dumpster to be
Allow
enclosed.
him to finish his presentation, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Go ahead,
We
sir.
opened the violation and then sent out the violation to the same address that we have on Miami-Dade property appraiser page. We
Okay.
post the property, and I went inside and hand delivered your posting.
Not to me.
As a matter of fact,
You gave it to me?
those not to you.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. As a matter of fact, you know about it because the people that just left said you are in collaboration with them to make sure that they do a big enclosure that can enclose yours and theirs.
Correct.
So you know about it.
From him, not from you.
Anyway,
You never
I
said
posted-
anything to me. Excuse me. You never said
I
anything
will
to
Be-
give
me.
you,
The only
sir,
reason I know
sir,
about it is my neighbor.
I never said anything to you because you never there when I'm posting, when I'm hand delivering the posting.
Okay.
I don't have your phone number. When I go to your store, you never upfront. You never upfront. I see customers, I see people working for you. You never upfront.
Is that a crime?
No, it's not.
Ah, okay.
That's why I never spoke to you when I go to your store.
Okay.
So, property was posted on May 18, 2019. This, I have picture of the dumpster enclosure. We show two dumpster. One belong to 775. One belong to 777.
It goes together with my neighbor. We are doing it together, and we're going to fix it. You told him that you're going to give him 90 days. We're doing it anyway, so it doesn't matter. By the way, I never got anything from you. I never talked to you. So don't tell me stories now, please.
I didn't say that I talked to you.
Okay?
I didn't say that
we
I
are
talked
doing
to you.
it. My neighbor was here with the plans and everything. We're doing it together. The two dumpsters sitting next to each other, and we're going to do it together anyway.
Let's see. All right, that was Ambrosino Corp., right?
Correct.
775 Northeast
Correct.
125th?
Yes.
Okay. Then the ruling was adjudication, 350 and 90 days. That's the one I give him till August 28th, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay, so, all right, same adjudication, 90 days, 350. All right, sir, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
The next item is item number 17, Frank Santiago. Edme St. Louis is the officer. The case number CEGMP 2019-00050. Item number 17.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
My name is Edwin Hiram Quinones, and I'm the husband of the owner of the property.
All right, sir.
And I know what I'm here for.
Good evening.
At least we have one person who knows what they're here for tonight.
This one should be very simple.
Okay.
Good evening, Court Officer Edme St. Louis. This violation was for general maintenance on the property. I've made numerous contact with Mr. Quinones. I have trouble pronouncing his name. And he is going through a little situation with insurance. I have pictures. And he's also willing to fix the outside of the property. So I'll forward the pictures.
Okay. Mr. Quinones?
Mhm.
What's going on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what's going on?
We have a case filed with Dade County, our lawyers. They,
Take a deep breath.
Take your time.
our house is, it needs almost $100,000 repairs. The insurance declined.
I'm sorry, sir.
I don't know if I'll be able to see the house fixed again. I live in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful street in North Miami. I make it look easy for my friends because I have a business here, and most of my friends are in North Miami. But the fact of the matter is that I have COPD, chronic. I don't know if my partner and I will ever be able to see the house rebuilt. I don't know if I have a week, a month. But the fact of the matter, don't.
Take your time. What's going on? I'm
I
sorry.
mean, with the property, is pretty
The
much.
insurance refused to pay for the payment for the house. The house is full of mold. I have letters from my pulmonologist and my doctors. My partner had 4 bypass.
Oh.
I live second by second to get air to my lungs. Like I said, I make it look easy because I don't know, maybe because
So you're both sick. That's what you're saying? You're
right,
both ill.
and the house is outside is not a problem. I think the problem is inside.
So you're breathing. You're
vanity
breathing
is
the
the
mold.
worst punishment. But vanity is the worst punishment. That's why I make it look easy for my friends and my family. But the fact of the matter is that they offer us the house. It's $100,000 to be fixed. They offer us $75,000. We want $2.5 million. We are not going to use this money because we are not going to be able to enjoy it at the rate that our health is deteriorating. But we want to teach them that greed is not good, and it's abusive what they did to us. They are killing us softly, second by second. And I talked to my lawyers today. They are trying to move the case as soon as possible.
So you have a case pending currently against
Correct.
the insurance company.
It's been filed with Dade County already. We're waiting for the.
Is that against the insurance company?
Against the insurance company?
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. I'm sorry that this is going on.
Well, the first claim was in, I believe it was in 2007, 2006, something like that.
This has
And
been going on
my-
since 2006.
My partner is not confrontational, and I had to take the command because if not, it's never going to be. We're going to be on the streets. There's a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage to the house, and our house is one. It's in a way historic because it used to belong to Maurice Gibb from the Bee Gees.
Okay.
And we sold the house in Coral Gables. We had a beautiful house in Coral Gables. We sold it because we like the community, and we wanted to be in North Miami. We wanted to be where our business is, and it has turned out to be our worst nightmare.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm asking for some time. So I came up with a plan putting a bandage on it for a while until the case is heard on the court. It might work. It might work. I have my compadre, he's a contractor, and I talked to him on how to go about it, and we have an idea more or less how to go about it.
My heart goes out to you and your partner. I'm sorry you guys have to deal with this. What's going on? What is the city
I
asking?
mean, I spoke to Mr. Cunedes and he agreed to at least give him 6 months to start off with, and then from there, you know, we'll get updates. And I know he's willing to fix the what's the thing that's falling apart?
It's like a molding on the wall on the
Yeah.
on the front wall.
So he's willing to get that fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, six months.
All right. What is it like? The facial board?
It's like a facial board.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. So you want to table it? You want to?
Yeah, we'll table it for 6 months.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. All right, you guys did not sign in. So next person, come forward.
I am Arthur Floor. I reside at 960 Northeast 133rd Street,
What number?
960.
13.
Item number 13,
Nancy
case
Brodowski.
number CEJNK 2019-00020. Ernst Baptiste is the officer.
Okay, sir, what is your name?
Arthur Floor.
Okay, your relationship to the property?
I live on the property.
Okay. Are you a tenant?
No, I live there. My mother-in-law owns the property.
Okay,
The whole family lives there.
okay.
Ernst Baptiste City, North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. Case that was open for the property located at 960 Northeast 133rd for junk item laying around in the rear and side of the property. Property was posted thank you, sir, on May 17, 2019 at 2:24 p.m. I took picture of the violation.
Okay. Yeah, I have updates of that. You can see that's gone. The ladder's gone. I cleaned up. There were some things here in this area that are all gone.
He showed me a picture where the washer or dryer is gone.
It's a kitchenette.
Kitchenette, okay.
Okay, it's been removed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you went for a re-inspection on what day? By the abate? Oh, this is the first time up?
Yes,
Okay. All right, so it's removed?
yes, according to the picture, I would.
Do you
table
want
it.
to?
Yes, I will
Okay.
go back and re-inspect.
Okay, but we still have costs for today, correct? No?
No.
All right, tabled. Okay, sir. Good luck to you. The officer will go back to re-inspect.
Okay.
And if it's closed, then, if it's removed, then he'll close the case.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you. Ma'am? What is your name? And address?
My name is Paula Henry, and my address is 1021 Northeast 141st Street. And my officer is Mrs. Jean Lewis.
She knows her officer. Officer, come forward.
This item
What-
was not
what's
on the agenda. I
Huh?
asked her to, this item is not on the agenda. I'm not sure if it had complied before I printed the final agenda, so
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. Pilar, this was the property that Crystal
done.
emailed us to table. That's why it's not on the agenda.
So let her know that it's been tabled because I don't have it here to give her that information.
I don't know your boss. I don't know. You send me that, and the same day I email you the. So nobody ever tell me, and I have an appointment here for today at 6 o'clock. I come.
We appreciate you. I'm sorry you had to sit here the whole night just to hear that your case is not going to be heard today. So guys, can you make a note that if she's in compliance or if it's done for somebody to contact her?
Yeah, it's not that she's in compliance. The manager agreed to table it so it wouldn't come to the hearing. I have to
Okay.
check the email to see
I know,
what
but no one
date
informed
yet.
her, and
No, the thing is, I have a problem since 2017, post hurricane 2017 with my roof. So the insurance company take times to send the money for they
The
said
repairs.
it wasn't enough, so I had to hire an adjuster for the to inspect to deal with them. So actually, they send the money, and I heard the Safeguard Company, and I emailed that paper, the contract, to Miss Jean Louis already. So I never got a feedback from her. That's why I
you showed up today because you got the
yes,
notice.
because
I
I
understand.
need time for the roof to be because the insurance company pay some money to cover it with the plastic to top it.
Right.
So now the company told me it might take them to pull the permit to the city here, plus to work it will take two months.
Okay.
So I need some time.
Okay.
for-
It's not in front of me today. I don't have the case. It's not being heard because it was tabled by one of her supervisors. So I would say, reach out to them, contact them, and contact the code enforcement officer and see, how long it's being tabled for, and if they can give you more time.
Yes, but whom should I talk to?
She's the code enforcement officer. She's the one working on your case.
Okay.
Okay? Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sure. Sir, come forward.
Yes, yes.
How are you?
Jason Smith, 1585 Northeast 138th Street.
Okay.
That's item number 22. Edme St. Louis is the officer. The case number is CEEXP 2019-00072, item 22.
I'm not quite sure what the infraction is, but my tenant, been the landlord since 2005, said, I got this, Jason, you might want to look into it. I saw that 2 days ago, so wanted to make sure I showed up.
Okay.
Good evening, Code Officer Edme St. Louis. This violation is for painting of the exterior of the property. There was actually two violations. The first one is already in compliance because they removed the plywoods that were on the windows.
Oh, okay.
Now the second one is for painting of the property.
Okay.
It's white, but it's discolored.
Gotcha.
Now I have pictures. Some of my pictures, the cameras that we have now, makes it look pretty, but it's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the.
I was there earlier today. I saw it. It was dirty. Yeah. I plan on having it painted in the next. Can you give me 90 days by any chance?
This was already adjudicated.
What does that mean?
It was already found guilty.
Okay.
So
It was
now-
heard in May.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was heard in
Oh,
May.
it was heard in May. Okay.
Mhm.
I wasn't familiar with this case.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, because when I knocked on the door, because every time I go there, there's always two cars. Nobody answers the door,
it's the tenant.
and
Yeah.
I understand that.
And the
had they-
mailing address, like similar to one of your previous situations, it has my old mailing address. So apparently in the tax roll, whatever forms have been coming to place 3248 Mary Street, which I haven't resided at since 2012. So that's why this is the first time I heard of it. My tenant didn't tell me about this issue, which is why I found out about it 2
Per
days
property appraisers generated on 5/30/2019,
Mhm.
it's still current that the
Yeah.
Mary Street is the same address.
Exactly, which is why I have to call the appraiser, I think you said the tax appraiser's office
Yeah,
on,
property appraisers.
and change that.
All right. What is the city seeking?
I mean, being that I'm now being in contact with the property owner, I mean, we could go ahead and give him 1 month. So he could go ahead and get the property painted. I'm gonna go also give you my card
Okay. Thank you.
and just make sure you contact the appraiser's office to get it fixed, cause
Got it.
everything we mail out, we go off property
Got it.
appraisers.
Okay, okay. Are there any fines incurred so far?
As of right now, no,
Okay,
because you're here today.
great, awesome.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
I've given you 30 days.
30 days, gotcha.
All right. Good luck to
So
you.
how- So basically, you'll come by and you'll see in 30 days if it's been repainted or not?
Within 30 days upon the notice to appear being generated,
Uh-huh.
if it's painted, I'll close it. If it's not painted, then it'll come to the following magistrate.
What was the date on that notice? Just so
For
I
wh-
know.
For which one? For the
For whatever
upcoming
one. The 30 days from what, today, or 30 days from?
It
you
would be
said
July 17th is our next hearing.
July 17th, okay, great. Thank you.
You're
Those
welcome.
are just, so exterior painting by July 17th.
Yes, and if there's any discrepancies, just feel free to email me.
Got it, okay, thank you, officer.
All right. Good
Great.
luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. We're releasing our interpreters. Thank you, guys. Good night. All right. Can I take a 5-minute reset? Recess? Okay. 5-minute reset. 5-minute recess. Where's Junia? She's here? Okay. Good. Okay.
John Dover, City North Miami Code Compliance Office. This case is in reference to property that is addressed at 13055 Northeast 6th Avenue. It is a condo. This property was cited for dumpster enclosure doors not being repaired. I have pictures. This property was posted on 5/14/19 at 2:55 p.m. Pictures are in the file, and I'll hand it up. Just for the record, this property was cited for 2 items. The other item was abated. They had some construction material outside of the property that was removed. However, the dumpster doors were not repaired. But this is affiliated with a management company that seems to have this issue throughout their properties, and I've actually cited this management company several times in reference to dumpster doors being in disrepair at several of their properties.
Okay. Tell me about notice for today's hearing.
Notice was 5/14/19 at 2:55, so May the 14th, 2019, at 2:55 p.m.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item 33. Micalaire Emile. Edme St. Louis is the officer. Case number CEIVY 2019-00061, item 33.
Good evening, Code Officer Edme St. Louis. This violation is for a car without a valid tag placed on the property. Violation was opened back in March 11th, 2019. As of today, the violation still remain. It was posted for magistrate on the 17th of May, and I have yet to get in contact with anyone. I have pictures.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $100.
The next item on the agenda is item 24. Jonathan Heller, Shanna Sanders is the officer. The case number CEWRA 2019-00009. Item 24.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for property address 13005 Biscayne Bay Terrace for missing address numbers in the rear of the property. I first initially cited the property on March 18th, sent a second notice on April 30th. Did not hear anything from the property owner until I went to deliver the notice to appear, whereas he came out the door. We had a conversation. He stated that he would install the address numbers, went back for reinspection on the 29th. As of the 29th, when we went out on the waterways, address numbers still were not present. I am showing proper service was given. I did hand deliver actually the notice to appear to the property owner. But as of today, as of last Wednesday, the 29th, the address number still remained missing on the rear.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $100.
The next item is item number 12101 Northeast 6th Avenue LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEFAW 2019-00073. Item number 1.
Ernst Baptiste, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for a cement wall fence that is damaged at the location, property located at 12101 Northeast 6th Avenue. Posted the property on May 18, 2019 at 10:50. Took picture of the wall that is damaged. No one contacted me.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
The next item is item number 4, 14190 West Dixie Highway LLC. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number CENUS 2019-00364. Item number 4.
Good evening, Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Okay. This is a new case, and they were cited back on April 10, 2019 for apartment number 2 to please have a licensed company inspect unit for mold and remediate the mold inside the unit. And I asked them to also provide a mold report and call for a reinspection. This property was posted on May 16, 2019 at 3:42 p.m. And the photos of the posting are in the file along with the affidavit. I do have an email where I've been emailing the property manager back and forth trying to get access inside the unit. The actual resident that lives inside there is in a wheelchair, so he's unable to access the doorway unless his nurse is there, but no one has been able to come to the door. So all they needed to do, and according to him, I did talk to the tenant over the phone, and he told me that someone had come in, I guess, to collect the samples of the mold in the unit and that they sprayed some type of solution. So they've never furnished a report. So to date, they are not in compliance, and I haven't heard anything further from the property manager. The last time we corresponded, and I do have a copy of the email, the last time we talked, or I should say emailed one another, she stated that she would meet me at the property. She did not meet me at the property on that day, nor did she have a designee for that property at the time.
Okay. Said you have photos?
I don't. The only thing is that when you go inside the unit, you don't see the mold, but you can smell it. Exactly. This is dampness and moisture is what you're smelling, but you don't visibly see anything green or black or anything like that.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
The next item is item number 5, 640 Northeast 128th Street LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CEJ&K 2019-00031. Item number 5.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami, Code Enforcement. This is a case that was open for junk on property, especially rear of property. Case was opened back in March 22nd, 2019. Posted the property on March 21st. On April 21st, no, March 21st, 2019. Took picture. Junk still in the rear.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owners have until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
The next item is item number 6, 7X Glory LLC. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number CEOSV 2019-00033. Item number 6.
Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This property was cited back in March 15, 2019. Please cease and desist parking large commercial truck in front of the property. Commercial vehicles are prohibited in areas zoned as single family. Remove vehicle and call for a reinspection. This property is occupied by a tenant. It's a single family home that's occupied by a tenant. And so what actually happened, I received a complaint from one of the residents who stated that there was a commercial vehicle there over the weekend. So when I came in the next day, I went out to the property. The truck was still there. I spoke with the person who operated the vehicle, and I said, listen, you can't bring the truck home. You know, he gave me a long dissertation, but at the end of the day, that wasn't the first occurrence. It actually happened again. Let me tell you about service before I move on. I did post a violation, or post a notice to appear, on May 16, 2019 at 4:58 p.m. I took photos of the posting as well. And I've been back and forth speaking with the tenants, and the good news is they're going to be moving. They have not brought the truck back after the second time that it occurred. So it happened once, and then it happened again. And so I told them I'm not closing the case this time. I'm going to leave it open because it's a cat and mouse back and forth. I spoke to the property owner, and they were unable to be here tonight, but they did send this letter. I'm going to forward all this up to you. June 4, 2019, 7X Glory LLC, care of Elvin Puente. To whom it may concern, I, Elvin Puente, owner of the property located at 1075 Northwest 129th Street, authorized my representatives to appear during the hearing on June 5th, 2019. The tenant was going to appear, but she has graduation for her children, so she said she wasn't going to. Anyway, I have let known that my tenants, Mr. Calais Petit and Mrs. Letitia Petit, are aware of the violation. I spoke to Ms. Letitia Petit last week and let her know about the violation I have received in the mail from City of North Miami, and explained to her that the commercial vehicle has to be removed because they are prohibited in residential areas. Tenants are aware, as well as that our lease rental agreement will terminate on July 31st, 2019. On June 3rd, 2019, I also spoke on the phone to Code Officer Ms. Vanessa Willis and explained that it was impossible for me to appear in court, but also told her that I have let my my tenants that we will terminate our lease rental agreement on July 31st, 2019. So basically, they're leaving the property on July 31st. The tenant stated that she probably will be leaving before then. So I don't think we're going to have any further occurrences, but I did want an adjudication. So the next time that it does, if it does occur again, that they would be adjudicated as a repeat violator. So what I'm forwarding up to you is that, which I just read, and I have photos, one where you'll see a red vehicle kind of on the street where the lift truck, it's almost like they work for a commercial company where they use the lift to access large wires and trees and all that to cut the trees back from the electrical wires. So you'll see that photo. I tried to blow it up, not a very good job, but it's here. I have the email from my boss who first notified me of that occurrence, and you'll see the rebuttal back and forth with her. And then you'll also see an email from one of the residents, and it has it has another photo where there's no red vehicle in front, so you know that it was a different day, where the truck is there again. And it's on the left side of the paper. And then you have my photos of the posting. So I will forward all this up for your review. But they are in compliance. I just need an adjudication. Let me go back to my mic. They are currently in compliance, but I just wanted an adjudication in case there's another occurrence.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation did exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice to owners that failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 8, Alex Lanza. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number is CEBPR 2019-00011, item number 8.
Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Excuse me. This violation was written on March 11th, 2019. Please obtain a building permit for the fence being installed on your property. You may contact the Building and Zoning Department, and I listed the phone number for the list of requirements. Posted the notice to appear on May 18th at 12:23 p.m. I have not spoken with the property owner at all since the duration of back and forth with this violation. The day that I posted it, there were some children there. They were going to get the grandmother. The grandmother never came up front. There was an older gentleman on the property. I let him know what was going on. He didn't state what his relationship was to the property, but according to the neighbor, they're well aware that they need to get a permit for the fence. One of our officers here had previously also cited him with a ticket when he was initially installing the fence. So it's just imperative that he obtains the permit. He's not finished with the fence. Unfortunately, my photo of the fence did not come out well. So all I have is the actual posting of the notice to appear on the property on May 18th. But I did take the permit action report for that particular property. He has several permits here, but he does not have a permit for the fence that he has started to install. But I do have a testimony, if you need, from the other officer that there actually is a fence there, an iron fence. But they are not in compliance. There's no permit there.
Okay. Based on you're shaking your, is it, officer, okay.
Karen Jean Lewis.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. The property owners has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Okay, thank you.
The next item is item number 12, BSD 18 LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEEXC 2019-00005. Item number 12.
I want to table this case for 1 month.
Okay. Table 30 days.
The next item is item number 20, Iceline Sarah Flynn. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. Case number CEEXP 2019-00066. Item number 20.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer, case that was opened back in March 14, 2019 for the violation of the paint in the exterior of the property. Property was posted on March 14, 2019 at 3:25 p.m. I took picture of the property. Paint is peeling, need to be repainted.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until June 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $450.
The next item is item 27, Lawrence Casagal. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEWWC 2019-00019, item 27.
Good evening, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 960 Northeast 143 Street was cited for a blue tarp on the roof. Code Manager Cordo requested that I tabled it after the property was originally cited. After the 30 days wait, still no contact from the owner and the tarp remains. Notice to appear was posted on the property on Thursday, May 16 at 11:39 a.m. As of the final reinspection date, May 29, the tarp remains on the roof. And I happened to drive by today and took another picture. The tarp still remains and no contact from the property owner.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $450.
The next item is item 29, MCPAT Enterprises. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEODS 2019-00046, item 29.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened back in March 8, 2019. Video was posted on May 17, 2019. I have pictures showing pieces of plywoods leaning against the wall and on the exterior.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until June 10th, July 10th, by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
The next item on the agenda is item 35, Petit Matre. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CEWWC 2019-00034, item 35.
Pilar, what's the property address?
1241 Northeast 141 Street.
Oh, that one is compliant.
The next item is 36, Rashid Tahir. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEEXP 2019-00064, item 36.
Ernst Baptist, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. Property was posted on March 13, 2019. That was for the violation to paint the exterior. That is looking bad with mold and peeling and fading. Property was posted on March 13, 2019 at 10:57 a.m. I have picture.
The notice on 3/13, was that for today? Because I see that this case was tabled once.
No, that's the same. The house looked the same way.
I understand the posting. You said that it was posted on 3/13.
Oh no. On May 13.
Oh, thought I heard March 13th. I'm sorry. Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, that would be a daily fine amount of $350.
The next case on the agenda is item 41, Tropical Terrace Condominium. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer, and the case number is CEBAL 2019-00001.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 13725 Northeast 6th Avenue was cited for items being stored on the balconies. Items such as grills, chairs, ladders, and other miscellaneous items. I did make contact with the property manager, who advised that she would have the items removed. Upon the last time I was there at the property, which was May 21st, the items still remain. And since then, there's been no contact from the property owner. The property manager. The notice to appear was posted May 21st, 2019 at 8:57 a.m. I ride by the building often, and the items still on the balconies.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city. Enter an adjudication. owners have until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, that will be a daily fine amount of $450.
And that concludes our agenda for today.
Okay, we're adjourned.